Hi everybody, thank you so much for joining me. I am Anchorhaven and this is the Mystical Wellness Channel. And today I have a fantastic guest who is Drago Reid, who is a level 2 quantum healing hypnosis technique practitioner, specializing in guiding clients into the somnambulistic trance state. Dude, I don't know where that's come from. To explore past lives, parallel experiences, higher consciousness, subconscious memories, and deeper questions surrounding their soul's journey. As an experiencer, researcher, and host of the Portal to Another Dimension podcast, Drago spent years exploring consciousness and the Secret Space program, and so much more. His work bridges regression, hypnosis, memory retrieval, consciousness studies, and the wider experiencer phenomenon. His website is fractaloflight.com. Welcome, Drago Reid. How are you?
Stoked to be here, just living the life. Before we got on, we were talking about all the attacks we're going through and what it's like to live in this community and how everybody thinks we're just balling in the riches and like no one
Yeah.
understands that we're not, man. And like
No.
it's just funny. It's just something funny we talk about behind the scenes.
Yeah, I mean, I've got moderators, so they put like PayPal's in, and I do get super chats and things like that, but it's not enough money to live on or anything. So we do this for the service work. Just shouting out to everybody in the chat. Thank you guys so much for joining us already. So we have got the usual crew. We've got Flixlove, Terry B, Wizard Witkiss, Christy Campbell, Kat is in the chat, and shout out to Mahera. And everybody, thank you so much for joining us. This is a very unusual occurrence to have Drago Reid and I in the same place at the same time. Happens once every 6 months or something. So yeah. So I wanted to ask you a question. How are you typing already? Okay. It was about March
This is the only way
2025.
I can see everybody's live chat. I cannot see it on my screen. So if you see me
Yeah.
looking down,
I've
I'm
got a
reading live
laptop.
chat.
I've got my laptop open here. Oh, John Whitberg is in the chat. Good to see you, John. And my mate Kelly's in the chat. How you doing, pal? And so in March 2025, I discovered that I had a trauma twin. Who was you? What happened to you when I made that connection with you? That's my first question. How did you feel about that over the last year?
I feel like I found you. Because remember, I already had the memories of who you were. I just didn't never know what happened to you after
Hmm.
all of our missions because they separated us for a reason. I don't know what that reason was. I don't know when that was, but I knew that I lost you somehow and
Hmm.
somehow you magically reappeared. And I knew it was some form of alignment. And we've been just telling our story since. And that's why it's so important because a lot of people they don't believe a lot of us in the SSP. And when a lot of other experiencers come out recalling events and talking about other testimony that include you and stuff, it's quite humbling because it goes beyond conjecture and my experiences, and it shows that this goes into other people's experiences, especially famous people in the community that actually remember me.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. We are going to take some questions from the chat. I just really wondered because I knew about you. I'd seen you. I saw you on the Typical Skeptic podcast, and it was even Audrey Walters was the first person to say to me because I said I'm thinking about getting a hypnosis, and she said you need to talk to Drago Reid. You need a Qhht, and I was like, no, not that guy. There was something there, and I didn't know what it was. And I know now it's because the bond needed healing, but it's been a year and we've done a lot of healing in the last year.
Hmm.
Yeah, so the point that we can literally, we're good. Yeah, our relationship's good. Our brother sister bond totally recalibrated in December at basis 2025. And for me, that was really physical. It really was physical. Don't know how it was for you, but I feel a lot of calm and balance now. Like I was batshit crazy before, perhaps more than
Yeah,
I am now, and
I
now I'm
remember at the
calm.
bases you were wanting to explode with the energy.
Yeah,
Like just when I was speaking, you were getting just download after download of memories,
yeah.
and it
It was
became a bit
Kruger.
overwhelming.
You said Kruger, and that's what like literally rebuilt my solar plexus. Massive cascades of energy and memories were coming in, and I was literally about to go supernova. And there was two people there. I think David, who's another super soldier that I know from South Africa, he was trying to embrace me. Can you imagine trying to embrace somebody about to go supernova? And I was literally just pushing him away. And Dr. Mir stepped forward. He'd just been outside, and he came forward and just did something with his hands, and I did like a mudra of my hands and just anchored fully into the earth in that moment, and you were still talking. And then like half an hour later, you're like, come on the stage. And I was just like, oh my God. Like
I knew that was the
yeah,
moment that you needed to crystallize those emotions and to face what you were feeling. Because I knew at that moment, if you wouldn't have, it may have led in rejecting you stepping forward or whatever was coming in and those emotions. Because that's why I went to bases. This was the
yeah.
time we needed to come forward with what happened to us. And that's
Mhm.
why I asked you on stage. That's why it was very important. And I did it with no notice. You didn't even know I was going to
Yes.
ask you on stage. I'm
I
like,
looked,
Julia.
yeah.
And your eyes got all big. I'm like, come up
I
on
was
stage.
literally
And
been
you're like,
crying.
no. I'm like, Julia, it's time. Let's do this.
But I've just been
So
crying in the corner, crying my little heart out, like having massive upgrades. And you call me on stage, and I just look like a deer in the headlights. It was when you said that my code name in the programs is Anchorhaven, and you see my head go, what? Like this? And I was just like, what? You know, when you have names and brands, and you think that you organically chose those. But you never. It's all just programmed in. It's just, for me, that was a big, nothing is real. Nothing is real in my life. Yeah, in that moment. Oh, Mahara says I'm glowing. Yeah, it's very hot here, guys. It's very, very hot. It's 30 degrees in my flat, in my apartment. So I've got a little fan on, so it's mad. So I'm going to ask you a few questions, and we'll take questions from the chat. So how did you get into QHHT? Why did you do that? Why not something else?
it's interesting. I randomly came across a woman named Alba Weinman. She was a hypnotherapist operating out of Miami, Florida, and she was taught directly by Dolores Cannon. And something led me there to her hypnosis sessions, and she would post hypnosis sessions that she did on clients like in the hundreds. And I knew after a couple of sessions that I watched, because like most of you guys, you have no attention at all. Like most of you guys can't even watch a 15-minute video if it's an hour long. And I can see this in the analytics. Like most people do not have the attention span to watch any long form content. I'm a long form content person. If it takes me 3 days to watch your content because it's hours long, I'm gonna watch it back to back in all my free time because I need to see all of it. I need to move on. So I watched Alba's stuff for like I had a drive that was 1 hour to my job in Tampa, Florida. I was actually living in Spring Hill at the time, and that's about a 2 hour round trip every day. And I decided to focus that time on the 2 hour drive to watch all of Alba Weinman's sessions. And I started becoming obsessed with it. I'm like, this is what I'm doing. This is what I've done in other lifetimes. Like it was she activated memories in me that showed me that I did this in other lifetimes and I was good at it. And when I watched her heal people, when I watched them explain why their lives were like the way they were and nothing was a coincidence and everything had a higher purpose and their obstacles, their Groundhog Day was resulting from them not living their true life by staying in the trauma, by staying in the crappy relationships, by staying in the crappy jobs. It just changed my perspective of the nature of reality. And after I probably watched 250 of her sessions, and that's probably 600 to 700 hours of sessions, maybe 600 hours. And at that point, I knew I had to do it. And I've always credited Alba as being the person that got me into QHHT. And I even had a session done from Alba at her house here in Florida. So like it led me to where I'm at now. It led me to being the person that people go to that verifies their experiences in the secret space program, activates their memories, gives them these downloads, identify partitioning systems in their mind that holds these memories and where they're located and when they were put there. And then I can use custom techniques that were not taught to me. It's stuff I've done in other lifetimes in the SSP, because you have to understand a lot of the people that serve under me, I'm in charge of their programming. So when they start breaking down, I have to realign them. And that's what I do. I do this with my heart. I don't do it by force. I put them back on track. And I realized that the more sessions I started doing, it started waking up people around the world. The more times I would speak on stage, the more interviews I would do, it would activate people all around the world. And people would come out in droves saying, your talk on this, your interview with this person, it woke me up, it gave me these memories. So I realized that all of this was not a coincidence, and I was led to Alba because this is the path I was supposed to take for the rest of my life from this point on, and I've not stopped since. It's been 8 years, and I'm over 1,000 sessions in. And that's a lot of sessions. That is abnormally high. That means I have no life. That means my life is full-time hypnosis. You know what I'm saying? It's a burden and it's awesome. So you guys need to know, just we'll talk about it later, but just me helping a lot of you guys, I get attacked constantly. Like I get abducted, I get tortured. The remote viewers are seeing it. And just people don't understand that I'm putting my life on the line for you guys by getting you this information because I recently created a term called SSP cosplayers. And all these SSP cosplayers, they're not living the life of a real soldier. They don't really have memories, and the ones that do, they're acting like a civilian when they should be acting like a soldier. They're not they're not acting like a soldier. And that's kind of upsetting with me because
Do
a
you
lot of these
feel the
people,
chain
they're
of
risking their
command?
safety.
Do you feel the chain of command the way I do?
What do you mean?
Do you feel the chain of command? Like, is there somebody that's your commander and you feel that pull? Like they say something and you feel that energy to obey or to stand down or fall in line. Do you feel that? Because I do. Only with a couple of people. Definitely not with some people. But do you think people are feeling that chain of command? Is it translating through into the here and now?
You mean from my personal experiences about what I feel with others?
Yeah,
The only person that I had that draw to obey was Carl Emmerman of Nachtwaffen, Admiral
okay.
Emmerman. Most people are below me in rank in the SSP, almost all the people. And the ones that are working with me side by side, we're working as a team.
Yeah,
But my fleet, I don't have a fleet admiral. I operate my own fleet as a commander. I don't have anyone above me. And most of the people in the SSP that serve with me knows that. So I'm used to being the lone wolf with the team.
yeah.
You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? But like, I don't get orders from anybody else. I don't get permission from a higher up to be able to speak in the SSP. I've never been given permission to speak in public.
Hmm. Okay. So there was a question from John Whitberg, and he said, "Who recognised who first?" Well, I had. It wasn't that I recognised you from your videos. I had a resistance to you, as in I saw you and I thought, "Oh, I'm not sure about this person." So my energetic body knew that there was something there, but because there was healing required, I kind of pushed it away. And then it wasn't until I had that session with Jessica Morocco and she said your name, somehow got through. And then I got memories of you come in very clearly. And then we had a private session together, didn't we? So it wasn't who recognized who first. It was like, I don't think you would have found me unless you saw me
I
a typical
agree.
skeptic. I don't think you would have, right? Because I don't know. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean the way everything, I mean, it's not coincidental that we met or I seen your content or you seen my content or you got that
mm,
readings from Jessica. Like all this is ordained from a higher point of view that no one really understands.
yeah,
And I knew who you were the moment I looked into your eyes. I saw you as the younger person, and I remember the things we did and what we
mm.
had to do, the good and the bad. And it was a
That's
lot.
your burden, isn't it? Is you
Yeah,
remember
but
the bad
like
stuff.
it was a burden at first because I had to remember the memories of what happened. But I also remember that we were both victims and they programmed us to do a lot of things
Yeah,
and we had to escape from that kind of stuff. And that's why we're here now speaking about it. But the
yeah,
moment I saw you, I knew exactly who you were because I've been looking for you for a long time. I've been looking for people and units I've served with for a long time, and everyone seems to just find me magically.
yeah.
I don't find them online. They all find me. Every single one. It's trippy.
Yeah,
It's
not that many
amazing.
people find me, and then one did, and she said to me, "You hurt me," and all this kind of stuff. But I forgive you, and I'm sitting there like, "Oh my gosh," because I didn't remember hardly. But a year ago, so last August, I did start to remember some of the brutality of what we went through, pitted against each other, and it broke me. So Lionsgate broke me last year, and that's when I started to do that diary series to try and make sense of what was going on. But now I see it was just part of the breaking process, the programming, to desensitize us to being able to do those things. Yeah, so it's desensitization training in a way. Yeah. Anyway, sorry. I'm just scanning the chat for questions because there was a question and it was a good one and it was about screen memories. Let me find it again. It was about how to tell the difference between a screen memory and true recall, I think it was.
Screen memories have limited senses. You don't have the ability to explore the screen memory. You don't have the ability to look into information, and it comes as if you're for a ride. But anytime you try to remote view it, it goes nowhere. And this is what I do with, so like the screen memories, it's not visceral. It's not even, there can be the emotions there, but it's not tactile and it seems artificial. And if you don't know how to decipher what is artificial and what is real, that's part of your programming. And there's certain hallmarks with screen memories. It's a repetitive theme over and over and over. Like for example, most of my life I thought I was abducted by grays. And I realized later on in life when I started doing hypnosis that it was actually a screen memory and it was actually the United States Air Force.
Right.
So the emotions that they will put in a screened memory will consume you. And that's how they get you to accept it and not reject it. And no one questions it because remember, the emotions you feel, you take it as this is absolutely real. I cannot go against this. Like a screened memory, there's holes in it. It's kind of like a dream where, again, you're along for the ride, you're being taken somewhere, but you have no ability to stop and ask questions and look around because you're being led with this screen memory. You're being given these things to see, and there's no way to question it. With a real memory, you can go back in time. You can step out of your body. You can walk around. You can remember the emotions. You can remember the conversations. With screened memories, it's different. You do not have that ability to do that. And if you attempt, especially with remote viewing, you'll see darkness because it's not a real moment. So if you want to identify what's screened and what's real, you have to have hypnosis done. You have to have remote viewers say, hey, this is a screen memory. This is a real memory. So the best thing to do it is get hypnosis, get some QHHT, get someone who does, it doesn't have to be online or in person. Like there's a lot of amazing people that do modalities that do it online, but they need to activate your third eye. They need to make you see this stuff, not me tell you what I'm seeing. It is important that if Julia is in front of me getting hypnosis, she sees this with her own eyes, her third eye. So you know it's real. And I can show you. I can ask the screen memories to start a queue, and we'll pull them in one by one, showing you what is screened, and then we'll remove that overlay holographically and show you what was under it.
When you do QHHT, do you get visions as well? Because sometimes when
Yes.
people are talking now, I see like I've got this bubble here and I can follow along with them. And that's quite new, that one.
I've I've never admitted it publicly, but I'm starting to step into my power. And most people that do QHHT readings with me or consultations, they see I'm very psychic. And I can see these things happening. And I've kept that to myself for a long time because I didn't want to be one of those people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because I saw the timelines of that happening and people using me nonstop. Barrage of messages on Facebook. What do you see with this? What do you see with that? And it that's kind of what it's turned into, just like Facebook alone.
Yeah.
Good Lord, I get hundreds of messages on Facebook. And a lot of that is like long form content where they're wanting to know about themselves and like I don't have the emotional bandwidth to deal with that anymore. It's way too much. Because once I start seeing, I can't unsee.
Yeah.
So when I'm doing
I'm like
hypnosis
that.
sessions on people, I
Yeah.
can see these things happening to them and I will correct the higher self. I'm like, you told me this, but I'm actually seeing this. What's going on with this? Oh, you're right. There was some blocking here. There's some handlers here preventing this information from coming through. And I see it immediately. I can see psychically when the handlers are there. And at that point, if I see there's handlers, I will literally force them into the client's body to speak through their mouth and be like, what are you doing here? And it doesn't go good for a lot of them. And the ones that are being used against their will, the slaves, the remote viewers that are being used by the government. I came across a couple yesterday when I was doing a Maria Suite session.
Mm.
She came down and spent a lot of money getting to me, hotel and flight and all that stuff, and happened to be her 50-year birthday.
Mm.
And we found out she is Frida Hoffnitz that served with John Whitberg, Jack Flynn, and me, Yoshiro, in the Man with the Periwinkle Eyes book series as one of the Medusas. She was one of our medics. And she had a ton of handlers attached to her, but some of these handlers that were attached to her were there against their will. So what I did was they started being kind of rude to me. And yesterday I was not in the mood to really get there because a lot of my sessions they get pretty involved. I deal with draconians all the time, high-ranking generals, they come in acting as handlers, and I end up having to fight them and it gets pretty shitty. And this is all recorded on video that I'll be releasing in the future, but in a couple of those cases with the military remote viewer oracles, I showed them they don't have to be upset with me. They don't have to be angry with me. And I literally removed their own screen memories and their blocked memories to show them that they were slaves themselves. So what I'm doing is I'm taking all these handlers, these draconians, and I'm converting them to the light. I'm giving them an option. They can either keep fighting me. The second option is I'm going to open up a portal to source. They can step in. They can evolve out of their own de-evolution because draconians, they have red chakras all throughout their entire system. They don't have any color chakras. They don't have the heart chakra. So what I do is I activate the heart center inside them, the source of source, the white light. And once I do that, I show them what that feels like. We bring them to the light. Some of the times they come, some of the times they want to fight. That's fine. But what I'm doing is I'm showing how a lot of them are slaves. I'm showing them how a lot of their own peoples use them, how the government has used them, and I'm bringing them to our team. Not from deception, not to manipulate them. They see that this is coming from my heart. I'm seeing that you are suffering like I am and you are a pawn like I am. And I'm here to free you.
So there is a question in the chat about suicide frequency, suicide targeting, and this is something that came up with me and Sean. Actually, he wouldn't let me look into my Kruger files in vision questing because there was a massive warning label of death and suicide, like dumping, attached to it. And he's like, well, you know, once you learn how to offset that, then we can look into those files, basically. So what do you suggest for people who are getting hit with suicide suggestion? That's quite sensitive.
Without giving my exact technique up, because my technique I use is not QHHT, is not Beyond Quantum Healing. It is my own technique that I've used inside the programs to help deprogram soldiers of their programming. What did you ask me before? What did you just ask me?
Yeah, she's saying, so this is Earth Grid Rescue Mission is saying, how do I evade the targeting? It's so bad right now. I've been hit with suicide frequencies.
Okay, so you had mentioned about Sean about activating certain memory files, and he got the Omega warning. If you
Yeah,
proceed, this person will probably kill themselves. They can kill you.
yeah.
That's a very serious thing I deal with. Don't think I don't enter every hypnosis session without scoping an entire room for exits and possible weapons, because if you activate the wrong programming on an asset, it can get physical. It's never happened to me before, not once, out of over 1,000 sessions, but I will still never let my guard down. My technique I sidestep the Omega. I won't describe how I do it, but I can access files that most people cannot because of my command layer syntax. And one of the things that was programmed into my voice is command layer syntax. So this is the phenomenon of people getting memory activation, deprogramming protocols starting on them, memory cascades coming in. And this is a phenomenon that everyone experiences. They report in conferences and interviews like we were talking about earlier, but I've never once activated Omega on a single person, on a single asset. And it is a dangerous realm to deal with Omega because once you activate it, James Ringcad did a session on Penny Bradley. And unfortunately, James made the session more about him and what her memories were in that moment of James for his book. And he went a little too far and activated Penny's Omega programming, and she was stuck in Omega Red. the tomato red color that you see once your Omega programming starts in, and she couldn't get out of it for a long time, and it really messed with her. So you guys, if you get any warnings during sessions about Omega, if you do not know how to navigate around it, do not go near it under any circumstance. But I will tell you, the key to everything is behind the Omega door, and that's why they give you a warning. And it'll tell you once you activate it, the client will have a alert happen. Warning, do not access files. Any attempt to breach this will result in Omega, blah, blah, blah. It's like, it is crazy. It's like a response that's built into our programming. And once you activate it, that programming response is automatically activated. So it's an interesting phenomenon to experience.
That's great, thank you. I'm just writing down some of the questions because the chat moves so fast. Christy Campbell had a question, and it was about immersion pods. Have you ever had somebody who feels like their consciousness is beamed in from a pod? Because I know I've been told that I'm Arcturian, and my Arcturian self is in stasis, and my consciousness is beamed into this vessel. Does that come up?
Yeah, we don't. You can use pods to do that, but typically we can use scalar waves for that. We can use scalar wave pings, so we can send scalar waves throughout the entire galaxy. So that scalar wave can contain tiny energetic packets of information like a photon. And a photon, again, is a tiny energetic packet of information that shows life how to live, how DNA needs to form, and it all comes from the sun. So we've learned that we can use frequencies to send and activate people, and they weaponize that. And they're even using that in Project Oblivion. So it's something that is good, but can also be bad. But that's the semi-common thing what Christy is talking about, because if you're on mission, if you're in certain places and you can't get assets in, you have to be able to send something in order to get to that asset to wake them up. And that's one of the things they do. And no one's talking about that. So when Christy brought that up, no one really talks about that. So that's awesome, Christy.
Yeah, I agree. That's so cool. So Iron Bear, I think it was asking about the movie by Chuck Norris called Lone Wolf McQuade. You seen that movie?
I haven't.
He's asking, do you resonate with that movie? I think maybe could be one of you.
I mean, I resonate with Chuck Norris and the Lone Wolf, and McQuaid sounds like a very masculine, badass Bronson name. So more than likely, yes, I would resonate it if I saw it.
It could be you. I don't know. Mr. Rainbow Flame said, "How do you tell somebody who knows nothing about this, and to kind of get across your testimony so that they believe you and that they listen?" And this is something. I mean, I do daily podcasts on this stuff now, and people are not always gonna, yeah.
The easiest way that makes sense to make people understand what all this is to watch Star Trek. Star Trek shows how all this works. They show super soldiers. They show Kruger. Kruger is the Borg of Star Trek.
Yeah.
Worf, the Klingon, he's Draconian. He has the crest that we have on our heads. I have an aspect of me that's a very high-ranking Alpha Draconian general that is known throughout the Draconian mythos, and that version of me is kind of legendary within their own storytelling. They've made me a legend. It's quite interesting. I suggest the remote viewers look into my Draconian higher self, not my higher self, my Draconian aspect called Va Tarnak Zol. That's the name I used during that lifetime.
That's a very Klingon name.
Yeah, so the Klingons in Star Trek, that's why Worf was always based on honor, how he was always aggressive, but he had to learn the human ways, because on a lot of Nachtwaffen ships, we have Draconian navigators. You know, a ton of them. It's required. It's part of the merge between the Germans and the Draconians. So very few times will you see human navigators. Like Penny, for example, she was one of the very human navigators, but she also had Draconian DNA hybridization. So she already had the minimum requirements to take over that role, because the Draconians also kind of control part of Nachtwaffen in their direction, because they're also funding it. Because remember, Nachtwaffen is the strong arm of the Draconians. If the Draconians want to invade a planet, if their treaties don't work, because The Draconians, believe it or not, they're very honor based. They're honor bound. They're very oath. They take oaths and they stick to it. And if you violate that pact, that's death. So if they'll go into a planet, they'll go into a certain species or certain diplomatic ways, and they'll try to make a deal with people. And if they don't, Nachtwaffen is sent in. And if Nachtwaffen appears in low Earth orbit, that planet knows to surrender because I promise you, if Nachtwaffen is sent in, you can't talk your way out of it. So Star Trek, it shows everything, everything except for particle beaming, where you're going on a holodeck and you're beaming on Earth and you're beaming back. I've never seen that shit on a ship, but we do have portals. We have natural teleporters that can just change their frequency and they appear. We also have portal rooms where we can enter a portal and go to other places. So Star Trek, a lot of people don't like Star Trek, but that's what you can
I've
call the Galactic Federation of Worlds, the
yeah.
Galactic Federation, and all the other groups involved, and how it's just basically a mechanism to fight for territory and peoples.
I was raised on Star Trek, so for me, it's always Star Trek first. Always, it's my go-to. I've been told that, and I do resonate with that. I've got a Draco aspect who sends me gods, and people have seen these gods around me. And I know Penny Bradley said something similar. Have you ever had anyone in QHHT who's got Draco gods in the room?
Yeah, it happens constantly. I'm
I,
sent. Dolores Cannon has this terminology she created called digging potato lives. All the practitioners know what that is. I don't get people with digging potato lives. Digging potato lives means it's a completely regular life. Nothing really happened. You lived a perfectly normal life. It was probably boring. You lived an old life and you died on your bed. I don't get a lot of that. I get sent nothing but high-ranking galactic, SSP, and major players. A couple sessions ago, I did the original soul that was Catherine the Great. Yesterday, Amaria Sweet,
mm,
we found out she is the freaking daughter of Yeshua, Sarah. She is the
wow.
original Sarah, and this is not an imprint
Shit.
life. She is the original being that was the daughter of Yeshua. And it's controversial with that because most people don't know that Jesus didn't actually die on the cross. All the remote viewing shows that. Someone was selected in his name to die so Jesus could get away. And the guy that died was part of Yeshua's group. And if that would have never happened, the Merovingian line would have never been created through France, the people of Yeshua's descendancy. So, like this M on my hand, this shows the Merovingian bloodline.
Yeah,
So everybody that has this M, you are direct descendant of Jesus Christ.
yeah.
So all my sessions comes with handlers with these high level people, and they're always there. It's either there's 30 remote viewers watching this session live. Most of them are oracles from the
Mm,
government. They're operating out of a dumb or an Air Force base or something like that, or a joint base command. Oh, or it's draconians. Very few times do I get like a lot of grays, but most of it is draconians, all high level draconians. So these people that are being sent to me, it is dangerous for me to uncover who they are because a lot of these people are huge galactic players.
yeah,
And they've hit me hard for being targeted. And you kind of know what's happened recently, how they hit me in Amir Jahangiri.
yeah.
And I recommend you guys remote view this. Probably a little over a week ago, they sent around 80,000 beings to hit me and Amir at the same time. And they were a mix between fallen angels, elementals, and demons. And they basically did some kind of voodoo ceremony on me astrally. They slit my throat and cut my legs off. And I can still barely walk right now. Out of nowhere, it feels like I jumped off like of a 5 or 6 story building and landed directly on my feet. Or it feels like somebody laid me down and beat the shit out of the bottom of my feet with a baseball bat or stabbed me with a knife. And the knife is going up through my heel into my bones when I step. So Amir had to do a very extensive healing, that type of healing I've never seen Amir do before. And it showed how much that guy cares about me. And
Mhm.
he was shocked with what he was seeing. And the way they hit him, we had to have other healers come in and start reassembling my astral body with the damage they did. So I
Hmm.
just want to say it's dangerous what we're doing for you guys. So please don't take us for granted because one day we might not be here, man. We might just die suddenly and like just understand that some of that could have been for helping you guys. So just know that.
Yeah, I mean, I talk about how particular podcasts I do, and we're going to get punished for this one, but I get punished like the next day or whatever. And the worst one I've had all year was New Skin. Ashton Riley New Skin. I literally got put to sleep for like 18 hours. Every time I tried to get up, got back down with the sleep trap. And that has never happened to me before. And we don't sleep. We hardly sleep at all. So that was pretty bad. So in the chat, Oracle Crystal says, why can't you do your own Q&A on your own channel? You have Portal to Another Dimension channel. Why here? So I've said, because you're my brother and I invited you on. So
Yeah,
there
and
you go.
also I've never done Q&As on my own channel yet.
Yeah.
I haven't arrived there yet. I don't have Patreon, I don't have super chats, I don't have a way to make $1 off you guys off comments and answering questions. I never have. I never made $1 off of it. So
You're not really set up to do Q&A like that, because I mean this is, there's
I don't even
32
I've never
people
even done a live
watching.
stream myself. I've never even done a single live stream, guys. So
You don't even have any
I do
moderators on your
accept
channel
help if
yet.
you guys
And
want to help assist me.
I've got like 12 moderators. You haven't even got one on your channel yet, unless I don't know.
Never,
No,
never.
so but we'll get you set up for that.
I'd appreciate it.
Oh, John McBaker saying on the same day they gave him a severe sprained ankle that he's still recovering from. So there's a lot of attacks going on at the moment. Um, I've definitely been feeling it for sure, but I'm pretty grounded. But when I went to Devices last week and I had to go back to Devices to collect the suitcase that Sean and Isha left behind, Crystal Skull in it, and all this merch and whatnot, I literally got abducted in Devices. Me and Miles got abducted. I've had it remote viewed. We got abducted in Devices. What? I got mesmerized by stars. I got absolutely, we
I'd
were on the
be
walk home. I got
curious.
mesmerized. Yeah.
I'd be curious to see if I was abducted when Miles took me on the Air Force Base tour
Yeah.
because
Well, yeah.
I got into some military bases that other people will not have the balls to do.
Yeah.
I I don't want to incriminate myself, but I
There's a video.
I shh,
There's photos or a video, and you're like stepping past. Yeah.
hey, hey, let's not talk about the details. But
Mm,
I'm that guy. I'm the guy that
mm,
will always cross the threshold when I'm told not to do something because no one tells me
yeah.
what to do but me.
Okay. No one tells me what to do. But when we were at bases in December, and I woke up, I think it was the Sunday morning, with a note on my phone saying you were in a briefing with Drago Reid and some other soldier last night, and I was like, oh right, we went to a dump in the middle of the night.
It wouldn't shock me. I would
Yeah.
assume I've never asked any remote viewers to look into it, but I'm curious. Was I abducted at Basis conference? Because,
We weren't abducted. We literally went in for a briefing. So we just got called
well,
into
I mean, that
base.
would be abducting me because I have no memories of that happening. So,
Yeah.
like,
I don't know. Something else is going on there. Okay, so do you get, it's a question in the chat from Earthgrid, do you get lots of incarnated angels? Seraphims, Elohims, what do you get? What do people most present with?
I see those a lot coming through in sessions. Seraphim are the Black Void dragons.
Ah, okay.
There's only 13 that exist. I'm one of
Okay.
them.
So I'm not Black
So,
Void Dragon, I'm a Golden Void Dragon. I'm an Elohim. Um,
yeah, so the Seraphim is the dragons. We're the ones that helped co-create these local universes, and that's why there's dragon grids on all the planets because the dragons put them there. And those are the ones that are overseeing these dragon lines. So these ancient stories about fighting dragons and all this stuff, Tiamat, they were the original ones here. And like the Babylonian stories, it starts with Tiamat the dragon,
hmm.
and she is basically joining energies with Mumu, uh Tiamat and Mumu, and they create Apsu. Then you have Lamu, Lahamu, Anshar and Kishar, Anu and Antu. Then you get the whole Anunnaki. So the stories start in our record with the dragons.
Yeah. Okay, so there's a serious question from Eric, and I've had to question is this serious question. And I think he's talking about our connection to the Tuatha De Danann. He's asking, are you a leprechaun? It's the elemental connection that we have because of
I
the
don't know if I
portals and
have,
stuff.
I don't know if I have a connection to them. I wouldn't deny it if I was shown it.
Yeah, I know we're definitely part of the Danu tribe. So
Hmm.
you've got the
Yeah,
Welsh and I've got the
even
Irish.
Amaria Sweet yesterday, we confirmed she's part of the same tribe as well. So a lot
Yeah,
of these major people that are whistleblowing right now coming out in the community are part of the Tuatha De Danann.
yeah. So yeah, that's cool. Earthgrid is saying she's a seraphim, so she might need to have a session with you at some point. Well, okay, guys, if you've got serious questions, pop them in the chat, please. Otherwise, I'm just going to start talking about personal stuff. um, so you've got some conferences coming up, which is your. Oh, do you want to talk about where you're traveling next?
Um, I'll be in Ireland tomorrow. Clients flying me out to do a hypnosis session on them. A lot of
Yeah,
people don't know that if you can't get to me, a lot of the times, if it's made worth my time, I will fly out to you to your country. And that's what I'm going to be doing all of next week. I'll be in Ireland doing that. And I even get to see the Hill of Tara,
oh yeah,
maybe do
it
some
was
healing there. Amir wanted to come and we do this kind of co-healing on the Hill of Tara with what was done there in the
is he
past. And
going
then
with you?
he wanted to go, but he
Ah,
had something come up where he can't leave. So unfortunately, I was like, dang it, Amir, I want to see my homie. The week after, I'll be
yeah.
in Hawaii at the Metaphysics and Super Soldier Conference that Irene G's hosting over in Panoa,
Mm,
Hawaii. That's going to be awesome.
yeah.
And then I
Oh,
have in August 31st through September 2nd, the Disclosure in Mackinac and Michigan, hosted
I'm
by
really
Frank
excited about
Rogala.
that one. I'm
Me
super
too,
excited
man.
about it. Yeah,
There's a lot of major speakers and a lot of major players that's going to be there in the audience behind the scenes, and the people that he's working with, they're doing all the heavy shit that's being discovered right now. Like his team is
yeah,
the one digging out these relics in Mexico, these extraterrestrial skulls and technologies and the Bugospheres and all that
yeah.
stuff, and they're going to be
You know what?
showing all that.
I loved Isha so much. I just love her. Right? It was so good to meet Sean and Isha recently. And she's just such a beautiful person. And when she talks to you, she goes deep into your soul to connect to you. Like you get her full undivided attention. Like it was amazing. She's so good.
I've
Yeah,
always told Isha she's the goddess that I recognize because she has that empress goddess power like
yeah,
Yemi Janae at the Farsight Institute. When you watch Yemi speak on stage, you know she's a queen. She
yeah,
commands an audience, and Isha has that. So every time I've ever seen her, I'm like, you know, I recognize that reverence within her.
yeah. Oh, they're getting some buffering, but I'm not getting any buffering, so I don't know. Yeah, Michigan's going to be a really interesting conference. I'm hoping Rob from Typical Skeptic can fundraise and get there because he's not that far away, like 4 to 6 hours away, I think.
I hope he shows
Um,
up. And for all you guys that can't afford to go, there is going to be a live stream. You can get the whole live stream. And if you use my code Drago at checkout on the promo, that gets credited to me. That lets the conference owner knows that I'm valuable with the conference.
yeah.
Maybe I can speak at the second year, the third year. So if you guys want to
Have
save
you
some
got
money,
a talk title? What are you going to be talking about?
I thought about this heavily. I don't know if I want to repeat Command Nexus that I
Yeah,
did at bases because
yeah.
typically when you do a major presentation like that, you should repeat that presentation for minimum 3 years at different presentation or conferences around the world.
You've got
So
so
people
much
recognize
content
it.
though. You've got so much stuff to share.
Yeah, so what I might do, I might make it lighter and make it more of, I might entitle it What I Learned from the Programs. And what
Yeah,
it'll be a screenshot of something on the screen, a simple sentence, and I'm going to
mhm,
tell a story.
yeah.
So Command Nexus is like part of my book. So
Okay.
Command Nexus is literally me reading, I'm narrating my book for everybody and explaining the things I went through. And those presentations is at least a 5 hour presentation. And I've never been able
Yeah,
to get more than 2.5 hours into it. So it's just like,
yeah,
until I get a deep dive opportunity, I don't want to keep just repeating the same sections of stuff that I'm saying in all the
yeah.
presentations because I need to get the rest out. So what I
It
might have to
was,
do is I might have to create some content on Portal to Another Dimension, physically just put it out myself, create
Yeah.
some kind of presentation, and just do it that way.
Because both of our presentations are on basistv.com. So yours from December, mine from June. What did you think of my presentation?
It was way better than you thought it was.
Oh,
Like you kept telling me, "Oh my God, it wasn't good," blah blah blah. I'm like,
it's
I
just
was pretty
hard.
impressed. You
It was
did
hard
great.
to make. Yeah.
You did great. Your thumbnails were awesome. I didn't see that you weren't acting as if you were afraid to be on stage. I saw you stepping into your power regardless of what you were feeling. To us, we only saw somebody powerful speaking.
Well, I was hosting the whole weekend, so I was on and off stage like 30 times.
Yeah, I heard
So,
that.
and then, but when I went to present, the podium was up here, and I'm only 5'2".
Are
So
you
I
a
so,
leprechaun?
maybe you're tall. You're like 5'10", 11". I'm 5'1.5" to 2, and
Yeah.
so I just sat down for mine because I couldn't sit at the podium. I couldn't stand there. You wouldn't be able to see me. So I sat down, and it was a welcome rest anyway. Because I've been running around like a mad lady all weekend.
Well, I thought you did amazing. So
Thank you.
I have zero critiques. And the only
Okay.
critique I have was I said, you have permission to use my likeness in the slides
You said, told me
telling
that
our story.
after. You told me that after, I think. Or I didn't really want to
Yeah,
ask you
because
for kid
I didn't see it
photos.
live because
Yeah.
here I was working, I think, or it was the middle of the night when you guys are having
Or
the
I,
live
I
stream.
sent
It's just
you
like
mine.
5 a.m. or something. I don't remember what time it was, but I didn't see it live.
I sent you my kid photos, hoping that you were going to send me yours in return. I think
I
maybe I
told you
don't
I'll
know.
do that. I'll still do that. I gotta find
Yeah,
them.
okay. But I made some
I have a computer
graphics.
that
Yeah.
what had happened was we had a hurricane come here through Florida, and we had to basically remove all our valuables from the tattoo shop I worked at. And I went to take my Mac PC home, the screen one, not a laptop, and I had it by the front door. And I went to go pull in this 4 foot by 8 foot piece of plywood to cover the windows in case it busted through or we got flooding. And I tripped and my hand went through my screen of my Mac.
Whoa.
So I saw the motherboard. I'm like, that has my whole life on
Yikes.
it. There's no backups. That has the last 15 years of my life or 20 years of my life, minimum 20 years of my life. So I'm like hoping to God
How do
that it's
you not
recoverable.
have backups? You, Drago Reid, don't have backups of backups
Not
of backups?
at for that computer. It's always been my backups. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? So this probably happened, 4 years ago. So it's time I need to get my screen fixed. I need
Yeah.
that stuff.
Yeah, they're talking about munchkins now, so I'm saying munchkins unite. Yeah. WFW. That's a chat thing. Any memories of shock troopers, says the Wizard Wickus. What is a shock trooper? Have you heard that? It's come from Sean, that term, I think.
Sure. I've acted as shock troopers for Nachtwaffen and Kruger. One of my known roles in Kruger was being a shock trooper. And what a shock trooper is, they send us in. We're the first boots on the ground. You don't send 1,000 soldiers in to take over. You send a certain amount of shock troopers to go in behind the scenes to infiltrate, take out all the high level people, start hitting their targets, and then you send the people to sweep up all the other people that's scattering like roaches. So
Mm-hmm.
that's what we are. We go in with the best exosuits, the best armors, and we can walk around and get shot. It won't even affect us because the metamaterials we're using, a lot of our suits are made of titanium. My suit specifically that I use a lot is made of tungsten, which is way stronger than titanium. And a lot of people in the SSP, they don't even mention tungsten at all. And the higher levels, the higher rated exosuits we use are made of tungsten with titanium layers and exomaterials, like I said, non-Newtonian fluids to accept projectiles, all kinds of cool stuff. But yeah, you send the shock troops when they arrive, they're hard to kill because their armor it's hard to penetrate the armor. A lot of the weapon systems that are used against us, they're not strong enough.
Did you see that question I sent you from Vicky Binky when she said, "Did your team leave a gate open?" And because she's asleep now, it's 3 a.m. in Australia.
I asked
Was she
her
talking
what
about Stargate?
I don't know what she meant by that. I sent her a question asking about that, and I don't know if she responded, so let's see if she responded to it.
Was it a dimensional gate?
She didn't respond to it. I just don't understand the context of the question.
Yeah, I didn't get either.
But no,
So
I would not leave a gate open for that gate to be used by others. So
yeah, I
I
get it.
don't typically leave gates open. We have gatekeepers for some of our gates, and if you don't have the
Yeah.
frequency or something, there will be handlers there at the gate, or ETs, or
Mhm.
demonics, or fallen angels. You have to be careful. But like normally, no, we don't leave gates open.
I've had Stargates reach out to me psionically for recalibration. Have you ever had anything like that in your mind? Where you see like a symbol for a Stargate come in?
Yeah, they speak to you, they interface with you.
Yeah.
A lot of these portals are conscious. It a lot sometimes it depends on what kind of portal it is. Sometimes it's a conscious being, and their job is to have that infrastructure the in the architecture of the hologram.
Yeah.
It's kind of like certain architects. Architects, we help co-create with Source. We take the idea of what Source gives us and we help do a build out.
Mm. So Christy Campbell was asking the question about your call sign because you put that post out on Facebook asking if anyone remembered your call signs. Do you remember the post you put?
Do I remember what?
You put a post out. Do you remember?
Yeah, I remember the call sign one, yeah.
Okay. So did anybody reach out and say they know you by a different call sign?
Some got a few call signs right. No one got my main call sign right. My main call sign is Spectre. And I go by three types of specters. Spectre, Spectre Obscura, Spectre Prime.
Yeah. See, that was in your basis presentation, so people should know that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
but like Wolverine, Comanche, a lot of those other ones, those were used on individual missions in different
yeah.
campaigns we did. So like we're not gonna always use the same call sign. Sometime we might be Delta One, Alpha One, Echo Six. You know what I'm saying?
What about me?
What about you? You've always been Anchorhaven. You've literally always been my anchor back home, and that was your code name. So when I realized you were going by Anchorhaven, I'm like, you remembered your own call sign for Christ's sake. I'm like, that's not common because the
No.
ones that aren't awake, they will remove our call sign because our call sign can activate our memories.
Yeah. Christy Campbell says she thinks her call sign is psycho. I
Psycho.
think I
I
think
don't
I've
remember
been called that a
Psycho.
few times.
I don't remember Psycho.
I think I probably go by that sometimes. Earthgrid's saying Harrow. I don't know.
Who?
Earthgrid rescue mission. I'm
Hello.
not too sure. So can you hear me? So what
Yes.
is the most common programs that people are coming forward with in their QHHT?
Nachtwaffen and Kruger and Solar Warden.
Yeah. Anything else? Anything more? Have you just given any more merge? Yeah.
I don't come across merge stuff very often.
Because I think Anthony Zender was meant to be in merge. I think that's on the ACAO website that he's merge. And I kind of have memory of him from Nachtwaffen, not from merge. Um,
That would be interesting because that would explain my connection to Anthony because we've ran ops together. You know, me, him, and Sean Bond have cleared out dumbs and exfilled kids out and done all kinds of stuff together. Anthony doesn't remember any of that.
oh, really?
Sean Bond and I do.
Yeah.
So we've been working as an intimate team for a long time. So it wouldn't shock me that Anthony is an Omega class as well, like we are. And that's what all merge was. We were all Omega class.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Guys, if anyone's got any questions, pop them in the chat. Is there anything that you wanted to talk about before we take any more questions? Anything that you've been working on? Are you going to publish your books?
I've been writing my books for a long time, and people bitch at me for not releasing them, but
Yeah, I
I
do.
will not. I'm not like
Right.
most of you where I'm using ChatGTP to write my damn books.
Okay.
And the moment I start reading your books, I can see it was written by ChatGTP, and it's very disheartening. And I can't read them if they're not written by you because your frequency is not in the book. Sure, your story might be there, but like to write actual volumes of books, it's a lot of work. You know, I'm not like John where I can write a freaking novel in like a
Yeah,
couple of months, man. I don't have that kind of recall where I can
he
assimilate
is
my
pretty
timeline to
awesome.
make sense like that
Yeah.
because when you're doing 20 and backs, 60 and backs, time travel, project, Phoenix, project, all these different projects, they send us throughout time. And then
Yeah.
you're existing in times that contradict the time you're living in, and you can interact with yourself as an older version or a younger version of yourself. So imagine trying to tell that story in a non-linear time frame, and I'm trying to make it make sense because year by year, the more I discover, I realized I would have regretted releasing my books in advance because the information I'm finding now would have been keys and bridges to other understandings, and I don't want to rush it. Because I've been
Yeah.
writing my book since I think 2019, so it's probably been 7 years almost. And remember, it's volumes, so it's not like I'm writing one specific book, moving on to book two. I'm writing all these volumes at once, trying to put them into their own volumes and sections.
Wow.
And until they are finished as a solid book itself, then I'll release it.
Yeah.
But I don't want to jump into it
Mm.
too fast. I want to take my time. I want to do it right. I'm not in a rush to do this like everyone else is, where they're putting out a shit ton of books.
Yeah. So I made the Breakaway Oracle guidebook to go with the cards, and I did get John to help me with that, and it took us a while to get that information together so that we were like synced with our information. So he'd say something and then I'd say something, and we'd merge what we knew. So we collaborated like full on with all the information, with all the designs and everything. It took me ages to format it, and it took us five
A
months
ton
or
of
something,
time. A
a
ton
lot
of
of time
time.
just formatting. I was working on formatting for like 6 weeks. It really was. And it's only the the 52 card images, and then the guidebook was 82 pages, 15,000 words. That's all it was. But it was a lot for a mini guidebook. And now I'm working on reformatting it to put it onto Amazon, but expanding in to put glossaries and things like that in, and really, trying to make it, because my stuff is for beginners. Your stuff is a lot more advanced, but my stuff is foundation level beginners, like stepping off point. Let's get the basics right first kind of book. That's my stuff. I know it's not the same as like testimony type book, because we're just going into you know to kind of like, I can't think what the words right now, but like making everything make sense. That's what I'm doing mine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so my presentation command nexus, that's how I
Yeah.
write in real life. That is my writing style. I write very emotionally, very viscerally.
Yeah.
I put you there and you feel what I'm feeling.
Yeah.
And that's how I connect with people. I'm trying to make it where it activates you constantly. I'm
Yeah.
writing it in a way where it'll activate every single person who reads that book or that whatever series that I'm going to be releasing.
Yeah, everything we do is activating because of the energy we put in and the tones of our voice and our attention to something. It makes it all activating. So even
100%.
when people look at the images I created, my heart energy's gone into that. Like when people watch your videos and your QHHT, you can feel your voice is different. Yeah, you can hear the things that you're saying. You can feel the healing energy coming off those hypnosis sessions. I actually love watching it, and I can't watch anything, but I love watching your QHHT. I do. There's a question from Rachel Kyle. Where is it? Does anyone ever approach you seeking assistance from programs that you don't often hear about? And do you get excited to work with them?
Everybody who approaches me, most of them are in the programs and they want to know about themselves. And sure, I discover new programs constantly. It was my talk at James Rink Super Soldier Conference in Orlando last year, right before he died, that when all the assets started seeing it around the world, they were concerned and they started contacting me and calling me the new Max Spears. And that came with a warning, that's a cool
Yeah,
title and all, but you don't realize the amount of tax. And they're concerned about my safety because I named
yeah,
over 30 programs that are not publicly talked about, and that's dangerous.
yeah. It is dangerous, and we get targeted by association as well. And being like trauma twins and dyads, there is a connection between the two of us. So they can be bleed through at times. But anyone around you is going to get targeted, just like anyone around me is going to get targeted. So I don't have a lot of friends. I don't talk to hardly anybody. It's just not worth it. I do my lives, and then that's it. Basically, this is me being sociable. This is it. Um, yeah. So, do you know about Project Aries?
There's different projects that Aries goes by, and then it follows a dash and a number. So that's kind of like saying, do I know about MK Ultra, not realizing there's over 125 subprograms of MK Ultra. So
Yeah.
And that was
Okay.
in the 1980s. That's how many
Hmm.
sub projects were in MK Ultra. Now, imagine how many sub projects that are going through MK Ultra now, and we're starting to see that in the new Senate hearings with
Yeah.
Congress.
So are you following it?
Yeah, Congresswoman Anna Paulina Luna, she's only about 40 minutes away from me. That's where her district is, and I want to talk to her. I actually went to message her office. And they asked me for my address, and I realized I was 10 miles outside of her constituency. So it would not let me send a message. So I've got to figure out a way how I can contact Anna because I have inside knowledge of how all this works. And I told her in that message that I sent her a message on her Instagram. And I told her if I end up doing that, I need to have some kind of protections, and whatever I say has to be done in a skiff.
Hmm. There's a question. I was thinking about Selena Stenberg at Bases, and she said that she saw us when you did the talk in December. She got this memory of us being in the same place at the same time with her, and I think it must have been in Europe because it's in like a white place that was kind of round when she's describing it, and she saw us there as children, but like as in clone children, like orphan black children.
Mhm.
And she remembered us, and then she said, "Oh, I hope you don't think I'm weird for saying this." And I just thought, I knew her. I knew her as a child, not an adult. And it was just so, yeah, it was interesting. I am embarrassed saying, so if I've seen you and me several times in dreams, it's always after a live. So does this mean we're connected? The first time you said you were there to bring him home. I am Bear, that's John. Is there a connection or is it an energetic bleed through?
Where's the question in that statement?
Does it mean we're connected? Because whenever he watches us on TV, he dreams about us.
You're not talking about John, right? You're talking about the
This is
person.
a different John called I Am Bear.
Gotcha. So it could be a couple of things. It can be 100% real memory, or it could be Project Oblivion activating you.
Yeah.
And it could be a false memory. And they have a plan for it. They expect you to look into it. They expect you to position yourself close to us. They expect you to come to the conferences. So sometimes there's a plan that we don't know about unless you get some remote viewing to see if this is actually legit. And you need to get some real good remote viewers to remote view that. And if it's double blind and a bunch of major remote viewers say it's true, then 100% it is true. And maybe we should be in contact.
Yeah.
Like a lot of women around the world, I didn't want to really talk about this today. It'll be in a topic coming up. And it involves somebody who's been stalking me, and her name is Audrey Walters. And she basically pronounced her love to me back in 2024, and she was activated with Project Oblivion with this love bite, and she's obsessed with me. And she just made a post, a video. I think everybody should go watch it. I think she changed her channel recently from Starseed Netlink to some. She's
It's
claiming she's a god of
Lady
some.
Aria Starflower, which I thought it must have come from a QHHT session, to be honest.
Yeah, so she changed that name and she's basically calling me out. And there's a bunch of major people that's involved that know the truth about what actually happened and what Audrey is attempting to do. She's been she's been contacting me and I will not respond to her whatsoever. And she wants closure to something that never happened. And she has expectations wanting to date me. And it is turned bad. Julia got involved. Penny Bradley had to get involved. John Whitberg came under crossfires under all this, and she's been attacking everybody. And
Yeah.
we're all going to get together and we're going to bring in the receipts of who she truly is. And what Audrey doesn't know is we have voicemails that she sent some to us about admitting her plan to use people, how she was manipulating Julia to get information about me, and how it was all a plan to use us and all this stuff. And I don't think she realizes that we kept everything.
And
Everybody
it,
has
thing is,
everything.
you and I don't talk very often because we don't really need to because we're very connected. So if there's something that comes up, I'm going to share it with you anyway, because I'm never sure how connected our minds are. Right? So I like to be very transparent, and that's just the relationship we have. And but I do have screenshots and emails, but I would like to protect her if I can, protect her honor, because she didn't talk about me very fondly, and she used a lot of bad language, which I don't do on camera. I do swear a lot off camera, but she did put out that post when she was like "F you" and all this Anchorhaven, and
She's
um,
vicious. When
yeah,
people hear it from her own mouth, and she doesn't even know that we're going to be posting all of her own voicemails of her admitting her plan, how
yeah,
she deceived you, how she lied to Penny, how she lied to everyone in order to get information about me, because I rejected her after I did a hypnosis session on her. Me and Audrey were together on Centurion 5 in another lifetime when I was SSP a long time ago. And when Audrey was shown that, she had expectations. And one of the things she said directly after, like, I don't know if it was not even a week later, she thought when she discovered that, she thought me and her would start dating and we would
yeah.
continue a relationship from another lifetime that no longer exists. And when I didn't entertain that rejection, she crossed the line and she started lashing out. She started becoming vicious and she's blaming me. She's saying that I led her on, I did this, I did that. And she released a couple of screenshots of text messages that only show one sentence or two sentences,
Mm.
not realizing that everybody has the evidence of all the conversations we had. And I have sent these conversations in full to most of the people involved, and everybody sees how Audrey manipulated everybody. And I will be releasing this soon. I'm going to be doing an interview, and I'm going to be bringing some of the people involved in, and we're going to explain what actually happened and show the evidence to
Do you
show
know how I
who.
feel about this? I feel it's Project Oblivion. I feel she's vulnerable and therefore easily handled. And I tried to be nice, and I do. Yeah, I took screenshots of everything before she deleted it, and
She
yeah, I
even
always do that.
admitted she even admitted she deleted all the correspondence between you and Penny to make sure that evidence was covered up. She
Yeah,
literally admitted that in the video she just made.
yeah. And just so people know, me and Penny have never actually spoken. Penny Bradley and I, we're not friends. We're peers. We've never had a private conversation except on email recently for bases. And even when we did the panel at bases recently, she couldn't understand my accent. So that's why I think it's quite funny. I've never, I have great respect for Penny and her work, but we've never actually spoken. I don't even know, think she knows who I am, to be honest. I've got a small channel. I don't presume she knows who I am. Yeah. So there we
Yeah,
go.
so to finalize what we're talking about now, it all comes down to Audrey admitted she basically admitted she used the word infatuated. She said she was infatuated, admitting she was in love with me back in 2024. And since then, I have not really talking to I haven't really talked to her in the time. What she's been doing is she'll send me a text message every once in a while expecting me to respond, and the fact that I don't respond, it upsets her and she lashes out. And she's wanting closure for something that never was. If you need closure from a lifetime that no longer exists, Audrey, I am sorry this SSP stole me from my life with you. I am sorry they took me from my wife and my kids. That has nothing to do with me. Okay? I am not here to continue a Centurion 5 life with you. So the expectations you have, it's not realistic. All these women that are getting activated with Project Oblivion, they're all getting memories of me, of us being together.
It's the
Some of
breeder
them are real.
program. It's breeder programming, is what it is. John Whitberg is in the chat, and he says he's addressing it too. He wasn't going to, but he's tired of her messing with his friends. There we go.
Yeah, it's just to the point where it's getting out of control. And I'm not even upset anymore. I'm actually glad she made that post because now it's time to tell the truth. And I need to
Yeah,
clarify. Let me clarify, please. A lot of the women that I did hypnosis sessions on, a lot of them are major players in the SSP. And a lot of them happen to be my baby's mamas from other lifetimes and other ET experiences, and we had children together. And in every single case, 99% of all cases, The SSP came in the middle of my life while I was married with kids, and they took me away from my family. I never saw them again. 99% of the cases that I've verified in person. So imagine what that's like for me. So imagine all these women getting activated by Project Oblivion and all coming at me at the same time, wanting relationships with me. What do you expect from me? I'm not, I'm sorry, I'm not being an asshole here. You're wanting something that I cannot give you. I'm not here to continue a relationship from a past life. I am here to uncover the truth of what they did to us, how all this is working, the kidnapping of children, turning us into sex slaves and soldiers and assassins. This is what I'm here for. And all you other assets that claims to be my friends telling me that we're not doing our job because we're not talking about fucking data centers and flock cameras. I'm not here for that shit. I am here to uncover the secret space program. And you attacking us because we're not jumping on your bandwagon to help you get more followers? Are you serious, man? Like this is getting out of control. This community is eating itself. And people are not realizing that Project Oblivion are the puppeteers. No one's asking questions. Are these emotions my emotions? Are these feelings my emotions? When we remote view it, we see that these are being puppeteered to you a lot of the times. Like if I did a session on somebody and I found out they were my baby's mama and I had children with them, you don't think I feel for that deep down and what kind of heartache that would have done to me? You have no idea. Imagine meeting one after another, year after year. And the sole thing that happened to me was I was abducted in the middle of my life with my family to be put in these programs again, over and over. So I'm sorry if you come at me claiming you're my ex-baby's mama and we had kids and you have expectations to be with me, it'll never happen. I'm not here for that. I'm not here for girlfriends. I'm not here for sexual relationships with you guys. And this is why I do not have sex with any of you. That's why I've never been inappropriate one time with a text message or anything I've ever said. You have zero evidence of me ever crossing a line one time. Not one case. Remote view that shit. See if I sleep with people at conferences. See if I go there to pick up chicks. You're going to see I don't do nothing. The more attractive you are, the more I'm going to avoid you at a conference because it's called optics. If people see me hanging around with a bunch of attractive women, they're going to think I'm a certain kind of person. So you do not see me hanging out with very attractive women, especially large groups of women for very long. I won't do it because of this. I have to protect myself. And this is real. You know, I started getting targeted the day after I spoke at the Full Disclosure Now conference in 2024. And it was bad. And it involved lawsuits. And those lawsuits are done. Those lawsuits have been finalized. Now I'm going to start going after people. Instead of them coming after me, I'm going to start serving them now. And this is what it's escalating to. And it's getting out of hand. So I need to go on record now to say enough is enough. You guys need to walk away. If you want to be my friend, fine. But do not, under any circumstance, come at me expecting me to continue a relationship with you simply because you got memories of us being together. This is not what Drago's lifetime is about now. I'm here to wake people up, to wake up my soldiers, and we will take our power back. There was no other mission.
I agree. They're talking about service work in the chat. This is what we do. This is service work. We don't have personal relationships. We don't have many friends. We keep our circles tight, small, and that is it. But I kind of feel like being the scientist in the programs, was I responsible for these breeding programs? Did I like pimp out my brother or something in these programs? Is that possible?
Sure, but like you have to realize, Julia, like these are program alters, man. This is not the Julia I'm talking to right now. So
No.
how can I judge something you may have done to me in an
Yeah.
alter that was programmed with no morality?
And plus, we're creator beings. So it wasn't just about hybridization and stuff like that. There was actually
Yes,
creator being programs going on
because
where,
you have that background to help creating life. So they
yeah,
use people, geneticists, because they're good at creating life. Sometimes you have to push what the rules are. Sometimes you have to break laws in order to see what we're made of with genetics. You know what I'm saying? That's why a lot of these dumbs, there are no laws underground.
Yeah.
All constitutional law and law by countries, it is from the ground up to a certain amount of feet. So all these dumbs around the world, they're operating in no legal grounds whatsoever. So
So
there are no laws preventing you from not doing that.
again,
It's
a lot of
fucked.
targeting on these topics. The internet's going mad in Australia right now.
I get a
um,
lot of people from Australia hitting me
yeah,
up wanting a lot of people from Australia remember me. A lot of them
yeah.
are assets and a lot of them are consults. These
Because we're
people,
in Pine Gap. That's why we're over there
yeah,
in Pine
yeah.
Gap right now on
Yeah, and
Kangaroo Island. Yeah,
they directly interacted with me at Pine Gap. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? So it's interesting how Australia, I would say 10% of everyone who contacts me for consultations, to the people that don't know, if you want to talk to me about anything, I charge $75 an hour. Zoom to Zoom, face to face, we can talk about your issues, we can talk about QHHT, you could tell me about your memories. I can give you my opinions. Most of everything I do comes from consults. I do more
yeah,
consults than I do hypnosis sessions because I can do 6 or 7 consults in one day when it'll take me one full day to do a hypnosis session, or
yeah,
squeezing in 2 people back to back in one day. But usually it's because they're married or something, or 2 assets coming down from another state and they only have one day to do it. That's it.
yeah. And it's very affordable as well, I think. I think you have good rates on your consults. And your QHHT as well, because even in the UK, it costs more to do the
Yeah, so
QHHT.
like tattooing, I charge $200 an hour to tattoo people.
Mm,
I've grown quite known in Central Florida to be a certain level of tattooer doing certain types of tattoos that no one else does. But again, I charge $200 an hour just to create art, but then I only charge 75 an hour to talk about trauma. So that
wow.
I'm letting you know I can charge a lot more. And
Yeah,
I am always booked out, but I don't want to make it where it's so expensive that the regular people I need to talk to can't afford it.
yeah, I agree. Terry has a question and she says, can Project Oblivion be using the law of attraction or manifestation? So what we focus on keeps us in this loop. Yeah, I totally agree. I think it does. I think
100%.
we created this. Yeah. Not that we personally created the targeting coming to us, but as a community, we created that future. Once Olivia James brought it into the awareness, I think we developed it and carried it on. That's how I see it. What do you think?
Yeah, Olivia James is really important in this. And one day I
Yeah.
hope I can meet her face to face and she can trust us because she's never shown who she is.
Yeah.
But she's a big player behind the scenes and it's her work that's identifying all this stuff. Like no one knew about Project Oblivion before Olivia James started really talking about it. So I've always given her credit behind the scenes.
Yeah.
But
I
yes,
did. I did
once
have
you
her
focus
on a
on
couple of
something,
months ago.
yeah, I've seen that. The little mouse
Yeah.
background thing she uses. I forgot what I was saying. My TBI, if I don't
Once you focus on
continue what I
something,
was saying, if I'm
yeah.
interrupted by anybody, it automatically cuts off what I was saying. So it's a crappy side effect of a traumatic brain injury.
So what you focus on, you manifest.
Yeah, so they can have you focus on something so intently that you can change the timeline. So the more people they have focusing on an idea, especially obsessively, you can literally cause a timeline distortion where timelines start popping together and they're not congruent and then it's all chaos,
Mm-hmm.
kind of like the Mandela effect. And that's what they're banking on. They're banking on hitting me all at once, targeting the love bites. And that's what it's called. All these women that have deep feelings for me behind the
Yeah.
scenes, that's love bites.
I
Because
I
number
experienced
one, I
two
don't know
last
you
year.
personally. I
Yeah.
may have met you at a conference. We may have shook hands, looked each other's in the eyes, but that's the extent of all our interactions. We've never hung out. I've never went out to dinner with you. I never got your cell phone number. We don't talk on Facebook. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not trying to be rude. I just know what expectations are in place. And if I don't meet those expectations, I know how it will be non-beneficial to me. So that's all I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying. I don't mean to be insensitive, and it's not me being insensitive. Everyone that I was with, that I had a family with, I love you deeply because you were my family. You were the mothers of my children. But unfortunately, this lifetime is not for continuing relationships in this lifetime. If it's
Yeah.
something in the cards, if it's something in an agreement or contracts outside this life and it needs to be continued, we will continue it in another time in another place according to cosmic law. But now I'm not here for relationships. I'm not known to be in relationships. I am known as a ghost. Most people that know me, that are close to me, don't even really know anything about me. I rarely let people in, no matter who you are, because I have to protect myself. If people know I love you, if people know I care for you, they will hit you hard. They will V2K you, they will Project Oblivion your ass, and in the end, you will end up hating me because of how they hit you. So the best thing I can do is walk away, be respectful, not be an asshole to you because I've not been an asshole to a single one.
No.
I've
Was
not
it
even
easier for
I have
you
not
because I'm
even
already
been
out?
an asshole to Audrey. Not
No.
one time. I have never attacked her. I've never said anything negative about her publicly. In all our text message conversations, I've never attacked her. I've only
Yeah.
told her my point of view, and she refuses to see it, and she wants to spit her own narrative. And I'm glad she did. Like I said, the narrative's out. When she releases these screenshots, she has no clue what's in store for her because when we release her voicemails and screenshots of the real messages, her community will burn her ass.
Yeah, I got attacked so badly by her community last March that I had to get Phil Barrow to help me, and it was really bad.
She's
So that's
vicious.
kind of, yeah. But I've got emails where I'm sending nothing but loving blessings to her, and she's coming back at me like
Lashing right
really,
out.
yeah,
Yeah.
right. So I continue to send forgiveness, loving blessings because that's who I am. That's what we do. Doesn't mean I'm not upset by it. Of course, I was upset by it. And of course, I want to defend my friends and family because you literally are my family. So I'm going to tell you if I think something's not right. I'm going to tell you. That's my crime. Is that I told you something's not right here. That's my crime. Yeah. So
And also, I wanted to say part of this conversation, this love bite stuff, I did an in-person hypnosis session on Audrey. And at the end of that session, we were sitting across from each other on two separate beds in a hotel. And when we were done with the session, I got on my phone. I got on Facebook. We just had a big long session. I needed to relax for a minute and just look at my phone to distract myself. I then see that James Rink just died on my phone. So what I did was I reached over across, we're sitting across from each other on a bed. I'm sitting here, she's sitting here, we're looking at each other. I just see that James Rink just died. I reach over, I touch the top of her hand like, oh my God, James Rink just died. She had the audacity to think that I was hitting on her the moment I found out my friend just died. And I am so angry that she thought I had the nerve to try to hit on her because I simply touched the top of her hand to get her attention. And that was me saying or like saying I'm attracted to you or something. Like after that, after she was shown that she was my baby's mama from Centurion 5, she
yeah,
thought we was going to start dating. She
this is
literally
all
sent me
programming,
she sent me
confusion.
messages thinking, when are we going to make this public? I'm like, when are we going to make what public? She said, our relationship. I'm like, what are you talking about? You know? But all that's going to be shown in all the screenshot and the messages, and people need to
Yeah.
see it. So I need to defend myself. People need to know the truth because she's
Yeah,
doing
Krista
something
Campbell
very
is
dangerous right
saying
now.
stay neutral. I try and stay neutral, but I've not hidden the fact that I've been targeted for the last year. But I haven't really said who it was. I've been respecting her, to be honest. I've been trying to protect her honor. But there you go. Um, Okay, so Super Soldier Talk 2, I think that's Andrew Chatsky's in the chat saying, what's the best approach towards love bites and Project Oblivion? So I had a love bite situation last year, and it was a gentleman believed that I was infatuated with him when I was not. And what happened was I actually got scenes projected in of him naked into my mind. And he said he had scenes projected into his mind of me naked. And I was just like, this is beyond me. So, and I shared with him, and he's like, well, I thought you telepathically shared that with me. And I was like, seriously, not. This is targeting, and I'm not having any of it. You can do what. So yeah, but that was it was just targeting. Yeah, love
Yeah,
bite.
but And they 100% believe it's true. And they
Yeah,
100% believe that you are the source of that thought or feeling. And they will
yeah,
contact you and be like, we had sex last night in the astral. Um, it was awesome
no,
making love to you. I'm like, what the fuck are you
no,
talking about, man? Like,
yeah,
seriously, like, what are you talking about? Like, you need to know what a dream is and what a memory is because I am not meeting up with you in the astral and having sex with you during a dream time. I'm sorry.
yeah.
Remote
See,
viewers,
I
look
don't really
into
go
it.
off I
Remote
don't go off
viewers,
dreams. Yeah,
look into the mind of Audrey. I'm asking all the remote viewers, look into truth about what's happening. Look into the truth. I have nothing to hide. Nothing, zero. I have nothing to hide. I'm asking the most famous, legit remote viewers in the world to look into who is puppeteering Audrey and to see what the truth is. That's all I ask. Release
I
those
honestly believe she
results.
is vulnerable, and this is what's happening. And of course, she doesn't want to see that, but we can see it because we're taking that step back, and we can see it. I feel like I'm a grown up here, and children are running amok. That's how I feel. And you know what I'm like? I'm like 7 years old in my head most of the time, but with this, no. I'm an ancient being looking down, seeing, okay, this is nonsense, and somebody needs a timeout. Yeah, that's how I feel. Sorry. Anyway, yeah, Nathan Fox says this drama is exhausting. The most cringe Nickelodeon high school series times 100. It's true, it is. And we've been living with this for 6 months or whatever. It's been ongoing from January. Yeah, so for me, things started in January and I started stomping around, remote viewing people on the planet. And there's two people in New Zealand and two people in America trying to spread nonsense from January onwards.
This is why I tell all the remote viewers to look what the truth is, because the truth is the truth no matter who says it. You understand?
Has just put my program phrase in the chat. Master of observers. We are the observers. We are those ancient beings that are the observers. Master of observers is the key phrase that activated my memories back in March.
Yeah, that's also
Yeah.
what Watcher class is.
Okay, so what can people do to offset Project Oblivion? Grounding, anchoring. Come on, guys. Protect
You have
yourself. Yeah.
you have to question what's coming in. You have to say, am I being manipulated? Is this real? You have to question it no
Yeah.
matter what it is. If you get memories of me or Julia, you have to assume that you might be involved in the secret space program, even though you might not know. And the reason why they're activating you specifically is for a reason. So always question what's coming in. Do not believe it unless you double blind verify it's real. You need hypnosis or a ton of remote viewers saying the same thing over and over. And if everybody has conflicting ideas of what's happening, that's not a solid answer. So you can't believe something if it's coming true and it's becoming false. So like you need hypnosis. Go to someone like me that can physically put you under. Find someone online that does some kind of form of hypnosis that can activate your third eye and you can see this stuff for yourself. That's all I ask.
Yeah. So Christy Campbell's saying discernment. Guys, asking the question, is this mine? Who does this belong to? We do that in access consciousness.
Are these my thoughts? Are
Yeah.
these my feelings? And if you
Yeah.
think these, I would never think something like this. I would never think about that person this way. More than likely, it's a form of targeting.
Yeah. And reach out. There are people in the community, but not everybody is going to have time to listen to you. Some people are going to find it activating. Like I reached out to somebody who I remember from Russian programs, and they responded and said, I do not have capacity to look into this with you right now. Right. And they still haven't looked into it. But there are plenty of people that I do work with in my team who is Sean Bond, Christy Campbell, Soma Arar, that's my team. Yeah. And you've got your own team. And I pay for sessions with my team because I want to support their work, right? Because I believe in energy exchange. I believe it's important to have that exchange in energy. And if I can afford to pay for a session, then I will. I think that's really important to support each other, or to do deals and stuff like that. But I do try.
I like doing
But
trades.
yeah, right. And yeah, so I think it's important to get that third opinion or whatever. I mean, I've got my debrief process that I've been working on for the last 18 months. And whenever I get recall, and mine is not dreams, mine is recall, real memories coming in deep vision quests, not while I'm asleep and I wake up and whatever. And then I will take that and I'll drill it down. And then I go to 3 separate people who can remote view that with me live on TV. We do it together, right? So people can see the whole process. Yeah. So I do that live. As Sean and I do it as an educational resource. So you guys can see us doing 3-hour vision quests, you know.
Yeah, so that should be a normal academic method that we do in the community, kind of like
Yeah.
Amaria Sweet, for example, the direct daughter of Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
She was wearing a V2K blocker the entire time we did our hypnosis session,
Yeah.
and a very good quality one of the best one that exists. So like that is another double blind thing. Like anybody that does channeling, we need to be able to get in the community where we have roles when people are channeling if you want to be in this community. And if you're going to be a channeler, you need to be wearing a V2K blocker cap when you're
Mhm.
channeling. Because this
Yeah.
is what we talk about heavily behind the scenes, because a lot of the people that's channeling, we're remote viewing them behind the scenes as projects, and we're seeing that they're being puppeteered by dark entities, and they have no idea that they're getting this from dark entities, and it's part of some kind of controlled narrative. Like there's famous there's famous remote viewers right now um, that are releasing material and all the remote viewing projects on them, and this is a famous remote viewer.
Mhm.
And what we're seeing behind the scenes is they're being puppeteered by the cabal,
Yeah.
and they're releasing this information as if it's 100% fact, but not even she is questioning the information she is getting during these remote viewings, and that is not good.
Yeah. I mean, even in the video that came out earlier today, when a particular person was saying that I could be your handler, we barely talk, right? Do you know what I mean? We barely interact. It's like, so I don't
We talk
know.
when we need to. Like
Yeah,
we're not
right.
here to small talk. We're here to talk about stuff that's meaningful, like
Yeah.
stuff that we have to
Oh,
talk about. That's what real people do. We're not here to, hey, what are you doing? What are you doing right now? I'm doing nothing, man. Like people, we don't really do that in the
we
community.
don't. Our
Yeah,
work is very aligned. We work parallel. We
we're
do
to the we're
very
to the
similar
point.
work, but different ways. And yeah, so it's
Yeah, if
like,
we contact each other, we're needing to know something. We're
yeah,
asking how you are with this attack you're going through.
yeah,
Like, are you emotionally okay? Like, we're
yeah,
here to talk to each other to make sure everyone's all right, man. Like, that's most
yeah.
of what we talk about.
I think because that's the sibling thing as well. It's like, I don't want to know what my brother is doing on a personal thing. I don't need to know that. So when somebody comes to me and starts talking about your love life, I've got no interest. And that was the problem with that person. They didn't like that I wasn't interested.
And the funny
And
thing is, like, whoever came to you about that, number one, I don't have a love life. So whoever the fuck thinks they know about my love life,
yeah,
maybe we should start remote viewing who you are, because I'm not known to be in relationships. So
yeah,
whatever's coming in, because even you, Julia, you was doing a tarot reading on me one time with your cards, and
yeah.
it involved my relationship, and you just went another direction. I'm like,
It's just,
first of all, I'm not in a relationship, so what
yeah.
information came in that she deflected? It made no sense at all. So I'm like,
Mm.
what the hell is going
And I'm
on?
like, no, yeah. So,
Exactly. I'm like, what the hell is going on?
yeah, I don't know. So yeah. Anyway, when readings come in, they're not for me, but I interpret it because the guides will step forward. But that was in March last year, our very first connection, I think. Or was it?
Yeah.
I don't know. I've done a couple on Typical Skeptic for you, which I was very surprised when you wanted a reading from me. But
I
yeah,
always
that's
want
the only
readings from you.
time. Oh, thank you.
Who doesn't want awesome readings, man? Seriously.
Yeah, you're still my big brother. Even though you're younger than me now, it's so weird. Okay, so they're talking about I'm checking the chat here. Drago, V2K cap. Do you like and work well? So you've got these glasses. Do you have like shungite cap? What are you wearing an EMF blocker cap?
I haven't found a lot of good brands that don't
Okay.
block stuff.
I got this cap from Sean Bond, but it's not an EMF cap. It's an abundance cap, obviously.
Hmm.
And I have a cap by Orifim Shungite, who's a UK brand. So it's lined on the inside with shungite like dust. And so that's pretty cool. And then I have next to me, I have Orifim Shungite pyramids, which have got copper inside, and there's a violet flame crystal in there, an amethyst. I've got a little one next to me as well. So I've always got some form of protection. But I protect myself with the violet flame. That, I'm a flame keeper. That's what I do.
Unfortunately, to really protect yourself, you've got to really put a lot of effort in.
Yeah,
And that effort would entail you creating your bedroom and turning it into a Faraday cage. I'm talking
yeah.
about literally finding lead paint. Find someone who produces lead paint and painting your walls with lead paint because that's why they ban lead paint. It has no
Mm,
evidence it causes health problems. I've looked into
mm.
it exclusively. What happened was in the 1960s or 70s when they were introducing these frequency technologies, they started seeing that all this lead paint was blocking all this technology that MK Ultra was trying to send into everybody across the world, especially the United States. So the only way to truly protect yourself at nighttime is have layers of RFID protection, have a RFID canopy above your bed, wear an EMF RFID blocker over your head. You have to do a bunch of things. You can't just do one. You have to turn off
Mm.
your Wi-Fi router at nighttime before you go to bed because they're piggybacking the V2K waves off your own router and
I
they
can't
can.
do that. I did it once and then they punished me and didn't switch it back on for 3 days. So I
That's
couldn't do my
why they
work. I
punished
got
you
punished.
because that's how they hit you the entire time
Yeah.
through your own IP address through your own Wi-Fi network.
Which is why I don't use StreamYard because it always attacks the router when I go on StreamYard. So Zoom somehow has got more protection in it than StreamYard. So you'll notice when I do late shows and I'm on someone else's channel, every 15 minutes my router gets reset. Every 15 minutes they're attacking it on the schedule. Yeah, it's bad. So I go on Michael Koff's and I go on Typical Skeptic, and every time I'm buffering every 15 minutes.
That
Okay,
doesn't shock
cool.
me.
Yeah. Okay, any last questions for Drago in the chats? There's a lot of chat going on. There's still 33 people watching, so thank you guys so much for joining us. And I'm just there talking about radio techs used to block out radiation. Um, see, I actually have nuclear experience, and we use time, distance, and shielding. And a lot of the shielding is just concrete, just massive concrete blocks in the way. So time, distance, and shielding. But I got hit really badly in the last 5 years with Havana syndrome, and I actually, because I was on site for 6 years, and my dose was building and building and building because the Zeta Greys were bombarding me with extra radiation. So even when I wasn't going into the processing areas, I was still getting overloaded. And I had, like nausea, dizziness, like buzzing in the ears, headaches, migraines, all the time for years. And then it was March last year when I had that session with Jessica Morocco, and she said, "Oh, you've got two Zeta Greys, one either side of you, and they're doing something. They're giving you a packet. Oh, they're checking your radiation dose." And I was just so relieved. Thank God somebody's checking my radiation dose, because on site they just assume that it can't be a high dose because of the protocols in place, the time, distance, and shielding. It's never going to be more than an international flight. But it was because I was getting bombarded by ETs. But since I left, then it's all gone now. But I can process a huge amount of radiation, so I'm sure you're the same. So that's how they get us basically, and we can clear transmute radiation because of the Stargate abilities. Yeah. Sorry, am I talking too fast?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
I agree with everything you said.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Okay. Cool. I don't see any more questions in the chat. So, was there anything else you wanted to talk about that we've not covered?
Not really.
No.
Love bites. Whoever's getting affected by love bites, question the love bite, question the intention, question why now, and then have other
Yeah.
people look into it for you because if you do it yourself, your emotions are leading you and you're not seeing straight, you're not thinking straight. So you need others, you need a team of others to help you figure out what the hell's going on.
For me, when I get emotions like that, I know it's not mine because I just don't have that level of awareness normally. So if I start finding myself getting obsessed and infatuated with somebody, I'll know it's a level of targeting coming in because I've got a suppressed emotion still. I and that's how they stop me using my full abilities. So I know it's not real. And yeah, so I try and keep myself to myself these days. And
Yeah,
that's
and
so good.
speaking of that, Audrey even said in this video she just posted that our alters are controlling us, and that's why she can't talk to us and why we're rejecting her. She said it's our alters. I'm like, Audrey, I am flat out rejecting you.
Yeah.
My alters do not check my cell phone and be like, Audrey just texted me again, wanting closure again to something that was never even opened. That's me. It's not an
Yeah.
alter. I'm not talking to you and going back and forth between two people. You're talking to Drago. And
Yeah.
I am not falling for that shit. So stop
I
texting me. It's pathetic. You literally just texted me. Hold on. She texted me again, wanting closure again. Give me a second. She just texted me again on Monday, June 29th. Hey, Drago, the only reason why I'm reconnecting and contact you, I need closure and apologize, and I am sorry for my behavior about what happened a couple of months ago. Sometimes I care too deeply about people, and I know it can affect my mental health. Any future communication about subject matters will be done
mm,
voice-to-voice communication only. Thank you for your help.
yeah. She was very concerned about the connection that you and I have, but the fact that we're genetic siblings who were programmed and trained to work as a super soldier
She's
team.
jealous that you're my sister. Like,
It's weird.
what the hell, dude?
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah, it's weird. You only have to watch that video we did together with Bob Osborne to see how sibling like we are, and that we've
And
got
we act
similar
like brother and
mannerisms.
sister.
And
Me and her were like, ah, and she's like, ah, and then we're like,
oh, we're literally just in
you're my
sync
brother.
with our
And I'm
mannerisms.
like,
It
you're my
was
sister. I'm
insane.
like,
Yeah,
that's why we're still
I was
hanging
very
out.
nervous
Still
on that
homies.
video. I was so nervous sitting next to Drago Reid. I was super nervous. Sorry.
I don't know why.
Well, because it's been a long time since we've been together in the
Step
same
into
place,
your
same
power. I
time.
know that it is happening for a reason,
Yeah.
and this is your time. So let go of
Okay.
the fear and just be the badass you know you are, because badass motherfuckers don't suffer from weakness, especially questioning themselves.
So, do you think it's easier for you that I'm public and have a podcast? Whereas if I was
We
just
all
like a
made an
regular
agreement.
person, like,
There was numerous fleets
yeah,
and a lot of people that were in our units that were involved. We all made agreements all at the same time to have podcasts and become public.
I
And
never thought I'd be doing this,
the
to be
ones that
honest.
aren't public, the ones that didn't follow with their agreement and they don't want to be
Mm,
involved in the drama,
yeah,
I question who they are because I'm willing to die for this. If I end up getting killed over this, it was worth the price, man. It was an honor to have died for you guys. But if you don't think that you don't want the targeting,
mm.
shame on you. I'll make sure you never serve in my unit again.
Dude, that's a bit harsh. I
No,
don't
it's
want the
not.
targeting. I
No, it's
don't want the
not.
targeting, but I deal with it. I've been living with it because that's all I
We're
knew.
here knowing
Yeah,
we all remote viewed what was going to happen to
yeah.
us in advance. I'm not, this isn't about you, Julia. This is about all the ones that are not
But
public.
we're in the Tyrant programs. We've been living this life. This is all we've ever known is targeting. That's how our lives have been designed. I thought that was normal. I really did think it was normal. And then it's only the last 2 years or so when I realized people don't live like that. I
It
shouldn't be
sucks.
experiencing that, right? And then
It's not right.
yeah,
You know,
Christy says it's not harsh.
I
Christy
don't
agrees
live
with
the life
you.
as a ghost because it makes me feel amazing. I know that I live as
Yeah,
a ghost because
yeah,
I'm protecting myself. I'm protecting the people around me. I'm protecting the people I love. And that's why no one will ever be public. I've always told people if I ever dated somebody, no one will know you exist under any circumstance.
yeah,
I will not mention you to anybody, any of my closest people. I will not even say your name because those people can be used against me. Those people can be
yeah,
targeted and now they can be activated to blast you and put your name online and then suddenly you're getting hit by SSP all around the world. You have government oracles all over your ass
yeah,
and most of the people that I've dated, they don't understand that. They
yeah.
think it's all fake and they don't understand how all this is real and like they get hit with tie wrap and oblivion and they just it just doesn't work out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I
So
protect myself.
I ended my marriage because I realized it was all handled, it was all targeted, and basically to save everybody, I had to push it away. And I feel great to be honest, compared to what I was going through before. Knowing that every time you go home, you're going to just get more and more targeting, and you can see that person is being affected, and lights are flashing around them, and you're like, this isn't real, this isn't right. Yeah, so it's not easy. Private gets targeting too. So yeah, everybody has their own personal aftercare program. You're going to get targeted no matter what, but we definitely get additional targeting when you're in the public eye for sure. Um, Christy Campbell agrees with you. She's lone wolf all the way. She really is badass, Christy Campbell. Yeah. Gina is
Christy,
saying, yeah,
Christy,
jealousy, people blaming
Christy,
alters. Yeah,
Christy is a lone wolf, but
she
she also
is.
realizes we're more powerful together as a unit. I spent
Yeah,
most of my life as the lone wolf, and I suffered like a lone wolf. No one had my back, so I had to fight all my fights myself. No one was there to support me, and it got to the point where I realized my mission has a higher success rate when I stop being a lone wolf and I become part of a team.
yes, I agree.
So we need that team. We need people to watch our backs. We need to literally be there if someone gets attacked. We need to
Yeah,
defend their honor if we know that is the truth. And if someone's coming against me with accusations, I expect if you call yourself a friend of mine and you do not show up, you are not a friend of mine. I don't give a fuck what excuse you tell me. If you say you don't want to be involved in that drama or whatever like that, then you are not my friend. Period. I won't interact with you much. Like if that is what it comes down to, because you don't want to get involved in the drama, shame on you. I would 100% get involved in all the drama to have your back because what is right is right. And there's a few of you that doesn't want to get in that doesn't want to get involved. That sucks because you're allowing evil to stay and not stand your ground because you don't want the drama in your life. So that's all I'm going to say about that.
yeah, I have the point of view that we need to heal it, right? That in this life, I'm a healer. That's what I do. So I want to send love and blessings out. I want to send forgiveness out. And that is my technology, right? Laughter is my technology. Joy is technology. And that's who Anchorhaven is now. Anchorhaven is not the warrior she was before, right? She isn't. I'm not saying I don't have the rage and abilities. I do. I still embody huge amounts of rage. I'm still the Norse goddess Hel. I'm still the Morrigan. Yeah, I'm still the dark goddess. The golden dragon aspect is stronger now though, so I want to send out golden light and healing to everybody. That's what I want to do. And but
Me
yeah,
too. And you see that in my hypnosis sessions. You see
yeah,
that I genuinely care about everybody and I would literally risk my life to help them. And you see me face what I face adversarially in the beings I have to fight in my sessions to do
yeah,
that for somebody. You know what I'm saying? And I'm
yeah,
doing it for money, sure, but like you gotta understand, like I'm doing way more for you than you ever did for me by paying me for that session. I am putting my life on the line to get this information for you. And again, just like we said earlier, I get attacked a lot for doing those sessions for you. So give me some credit, man.
yeah. We're gonna need to suit up after this one for sure. We're gonna have to suit up. Collaboration all the way, says Qhht in the chat. Stepping to your own power, invincibility is obtainable, says Rachel Kyle. Christy Campbell says, I defend my friends. And Flix Love is saying there's another way, perspective. This is golden dragon energy coming in from Flix, you see. Yeah, so we
Christy's
need
never
to
let me down. Christy's
we need
never
to,
let me down once.
we need to find a
certain people
balance.
certain people
Yeah,
in the SSP, they've let me down emotionally, friendship wise, but Chrissy's never done that. She's always been there no matter what because I've been there since she was a child
Joe Webberg is
when I was your
saying,
hero.
John is saying, hence why I'm deciding to get involved. Drago is my best friend, he says.
Well,
So,
John, this isn't about you. This is about the people that will not become public, that will not defend me. You already told me you would defend me. We talked about that before I even got on this interview, so thank you. But again, this was not about you, John.
I read that, John. It's the one I've missed. I think I've got everything. Okay. Um, yeah, so this is, I think it's we are the elders here. We're ancient beings. We need to step up, some of us. There's a lot of children who pretend to be elders in the SSP and in the disclosure community, and I can see it. And although I am very childlike, I am one of the oldest beings, in our community. I'm gonna have to start acting like it, and I hate that. I'd rather be childlike. Danny says, Anchorhaven and Drago are good people. I'm grateful for the sacrifice you both made. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you to everyone for joining us. There's 40 people watching right now, Drago. Yeah. Jay Skyrunner says, I am nothing. Jay, you're not nothing. You helped me when I had that shadow being in my mind. And he could see it straight away. I didn't even say
That's
it. He
part
saw it.
of the tie wrap programming to think
Yeah.
you're nothing and you have no value and you're nobody. So if
Yeah.
that is your feeling and you're in this community, more than likely you're being targeted. And I bet you
Yeah.
once you're put under with a hypnosis session, you're going to discover you're way more valuable and powerful than you ever imagined.
Yeah.
And that's what I see as a trend with the people that don't know nothing about the SSP. They got a remote viewing or a psychic reading that they were in the SSP, then they come see me in person to see if it's real. They find out they're pretty damn important, especially the weakest ones. And
Mm.
it's just programming. You're only programmed to be outwardly weak and to just be dominated by people because you're stuck in your programming. You have to question your programming and wake up, man. That's it. Once you wake up, you never go back. No more trauma,
So,
no more accepting the shitty relationships, no longer letting people disrespect. If you disrespect me,
yeah.
I will walk away from you 100%. There's only honor in this. And if you have no honor, you have no place in my life. I will burn you. That bridge is burned for the rest of your life. Once you cross a line, I will never, ever, under any circumstance, extend my arm to you ever again. You get one chance in life with me. If you cross that line, there is no coming back.
I believe you. You're badass. Um, so Wizardwick is the same with Celestials. Flixlove is saying we love Drago. Misty Hill is saying we can be childlike, not childish. There's a difference. And Terry B is saying, do all those people who said they would do a podcast even remember they were in the SSP? So there's still
Yes.
plenty of people waking up, right?
100%.
Um,
But I'm
but
talking about the ones that know they're in the SSP. They knew about those agreements they made with us and they didn't do it. They didn't follow through with what they agreed to because you have to realize each person that is involved in these fleets affects the timeline. We need to hit a threshold. If certain people do not step forward, that part of the puzzle piece will never come forward and the puzzle will never become completed. We can't complete the puzzle ourselves. We
yeah,
need
I agree.
everyone to show different aspects of how this works and build a bridge from that point on.
Yeah, so I got pieces of my puzzle back from you and from Newskin as well. There's something about Newskin, and he and I were brothers in Lyra like a really long time
You know
ago.
what's funny about
Um,
him?
well,
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
no,
I'll
no,
remember.
it's like I saw him on a podcast, and my crown,
The funny
bam,
thing about
activated and
him,
swapped energy. Yeah.
he's one of the very few people in the SSP that knows that I served directly under Gabriel Kruger in Alexandria.
Mhm.
He's the only one that has memories that I've ever came across, and he knew the
Yeah,
intimate details of how I served with him and how high I am in Kruger. So I
yeah,
was shocked. So like,
yeah. The weird thing is, even though he is like a brother from Lyra, I don't feel a connection to him the way I do to you. That's different. And I do remember him from one of my clone labs, though. So there's aspects of him that were literally engineered by me,
that's
which is,
awesome.
yeah. But that means I've got memories of him completely naked in a tank, which he thought was like some kind of romantic. No, it's not. It's a
Yeah, but like
scientific thing. Yeah.
from a scientific non-morality point of view, no
Yeah.
one focuses on when you're naked because everyone's naked.
Yeah.
Everyone showers together. We were
The,
forced to do that. So if
the
you haven't
memory
accepted that through a lifetime of military service, you have problems.
the memory was efficient. This is efficient, an efficient asset or unit. It was like that kind of thing. It's just a clone or a synthetic, maybe. I don't know which one it was of him. Um, okay, so talking about that your sessions have truth and don't lose childlike wonder.
That's
Um,
important. Whoever
yeah,
said that, never forget the child inside yourself because
yeah,
remember, it was when we were children we had all our psychic powers. That's where we can see
yeah,
beyond the veil, where we had our imaginary friends, but they were actually
yeah.
real beings we were talking to, and that's why the adults never believed in it's
Mm.
imaginary friend. And the ET being talking to you is like the
Yeah, I
humans, they don't
wonder.
believe in us. The humans, once you get to a certain age, the adult loses the connection to the magic and they no longer believe in it. They get caught in that draconian Anunnaki tax system of who they should be as an adult, and they forget how powerful we are. So
Yeah.
don't ever forget the child inside you because the child has access to all your real memories. The adult is the one who's blind
I
and
feel like
blocked
I
and
just
programmed.
remembered you, the energy of you next to me to my right hand side. That's why I knew someone was missing because your energy signature is still there. So that's what I said. I feel like there's somebody that knows me, somebody who's been through everything. Because I could, there's like this energy is there, but it's absent in a way. Like the presence was missing, but it was still there. I don't know, like it's like a residue. Does that make sense? Yeah. Um,
It's a good word called sillage. Silage. It's an essence of a person that's left in a room whenever they are gone. And it's like an
Ah,
energetic frequency, almost like the perfume they wore that
right.
stays with you, but you don't know where it comes from. It just feels like they're there.
So your Silage was there next to
Yeah.
me,
Yeah.
walking beside me. That's so weird. Are you a Taurus? I think you are, right? Are you a
I
Taurus?
am a Taurus.
Okay. I've got a Taurus moon. I'm a Scorpio with a Taurus moon. Okay.
I never really could figure out the whole astrology stuff. For some
Me
reason, they
neither.
block that in me because
Yeah,
that's
me
the
too.
secret to the universe. Astrology is
But
the
it's not
secret to
right.
everything about you.
The one that they use is not right, and that's why we
You
can't
have to
get
use
with
the
it.
Vedic, start doing
Yeah,
Do a Vedic reading. That'll trip you out. It'll tell you
yeah.
every year you had trauma in your life and what you're gonna have trauma
Mm,
until you die to the exact date and month it's
yeah.
going to happen. That's
But
trippy.
because we're so methodical and analytical, because astrology is not correct, then it won't stay in our mind. That's why we need the Vedic one that's more correct. My
The
traditional,
most solid reading I ever had was
yeah,
Vedic. It was done by an
yeah,
Indian woman at the Conscious Life Expo, and the moment she started reading me, she saw the draconian connection, how powerful it was. She started freaking out. But she was
yeah,
psychically doing it and also doing it from the information through the Vedic websites and stuff. And she gives you a printout of everything about you, the rising, the everything, dude. It was amazing.
yeah. So good. I'm getting my fan is on and it's blowing cold in my face, and that's why I'm touching my face all the time. Okay, so Eric, stop being smexy in the chat, and it's getting weird. So Nathan says the brain stops producing DMT naturally sometime in puberty, if I recall correctly. However, I know in our records, or definitely in my records, I was a scientist in a DMT lab, but it's actually an ability that we have with our voice tones to activate DMT. And I use
Yep.
that for my meditation work. And
And
you
that
use that for
activates
your
the third eye.
hypnosis. Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
So it's funny how we both got the similar ability and we're doing similar work because I do the vision quest and you do the hypnosis. So
Well, we were trained together in order to do that.
yeah, I guess so. Yeah. So makes
Duh.
sense. No, our work is very aligned. We just do it slightly differently, but it's very similar, isn't it? It's weird.
I agree. I
Yeah, I
agree.
had that with Alondra Markman as well. He saw my website. He says, "Oh, we do the same kind of work," and I was like, "Do we?" Yeah, so we're all doing very similar work. I think even Christy is now as well. Okay, we've been going for 116 minutes. Thank you so much. I really appreciate this. Thank you to everybody who's joined us in the chat. We had like 40 odd people at one point, which is a record over here at Anchorhaven. And guys, I probably will not be doing my 5 a.m. live that I normally do. So we will see. And but yeah, so thank you so much, everybody. Was there anything you wanted to share before we finish?
Yeah, just remind people I'm doing the Super Soldier Conference in Hawaii. You can see that on my Facebook page. You can see the Disclosure in Mackinac Conference I'm doing in August. Um, Other than that, you can find me at fractaloflight.com. I do 1 hour, 3 hour Zoom consults, $75 for 1 hour. If you want to talk to me, let's line it up. Let's get it going. I just went through a tattoo transition. I just lost my tattoo job on July
Ah,
4th. I started July 4th, 2018, and it ended exactly 8 years later on July 4th. So I have a little bit more free time. Now I can start focusing on my content creation and getting my presentations lined up. So
yeah.
it's freeing me a little bit. It's taking 60 hours out of my work week, out of my 120, and then I'm replacing those 60 hours with more QHHT and more consults and everything else. So I'm gonna be doing the same amount of work, but I'm not gonna be distracted by tattooing right now because I don't I need to take at least a couple of months off from tattooing. I need to get my mind back. I need to get everything where I'm just feel like I'm not just drowning in stuff. So that's a good thing. So
Yeah,
it's necessary. I needed it. I need the time off. So heck yeah.
that sounds great. Ireland is going to be such a good trip for you. I wish I'd known that maybe I could come over, and but it's fine. It's fine. You never
Yeah,
tell me
I'm
you're
also getting flown
nearby.
out to Australia, I think in a couple of months. So I'm just people just having me come around the world because like again,
That's
if you can
fucking
afford
amazing.
if you want to contact me and you can afford to bring me out, pay for my hotel and flight, and we'll figure out a deal, what I can charge depending on how many days, but I have day rates that I charge. And if that's something that interests you and you can't get to me in Tampa, Florida because you have a family, you have a job, you can't leave for 4 or 5 days or something like that, I can come to you. I love seeing new countries, so heck yeah.
You know what I was just thinking? A cruise, and we all work on the cruise,
I'd
doing
love
our
that.
services. That'd be so freaking awesome. Where would
Maybe
we
you should
go?
start putting that word out, dude. Like
Yeah.
Caribbean's cool
Yes.
because it's like it's cool weather, it's high
Yeah.
vibes. It's I don't want to do a cruise around Europe.
No.
What's happening right now with Europe with like the types of invasion shit that's going on? It's just like I don't know if I
Yeah.
feel safe.
I'm going to Germany next month for my nephew's wedding. I was just planning that today. And we're going to stay, me and my son are going to stay in Belgium for 2 nights, then Germany for 2 nights.
What
And
part
because
of Germany?
I can't say it right, it's Aachen. It's right by the border for Belgium. So it's like west. So,
Belgium has been taken over from the invasion. It's bad.
okay.
It's
Oh
bad.
dear.
When I was there
Okay.
last time, it was pre-invasion. Now it is bad.
Well, obviously I'll be called to some areas to do some grid work
Yeah, I
or
don't see you
something
having
while I'm
any
there.
problems. I'm just saying, like, the amount of foreign people that's not supposed to be there that are committing
Yeah.
crimes, it is voluminous.
Yeah. So, but I'll be podcasting the whole time that I'm away. So I'll do live coverage while I'm out there. So it'd be great. And then we've got the Bases November conference coming up that I'm actually helping organize right now. So we're just working on the guest list. So that should be good. And that's very soon. Very soon it's coming in. We've only just finished the last one. I only just got that edited on the website. So it's mad. Okay, so this feels so good. And I'm totally glitching now on the screen as well. So,
Oh yeah,
so
follow me on Portal to Another Dimension on my YouTube.
yeah, yeah, fractalflight.com. So thank you everybody. I might be back on later if I'm not too badly targeted after this, but my energy is my own. I'm fully protected and divinely guided on this podcast. We don't need to worry. So take care everybody. I'm going to end the live stream now and then I'll end the recording in a second.